Good morning, everybody. How are you doing today? I hope you're well. Yes, it's another dark day here. I'm slightly facing this way more today than that way than I normally face, trying to get a little bit of that sunrise, but it's not quite above the rooftops opposite yet. Goodness me. Crazy busy day ahead of me today, including I need to get to the post office again, and at the moment the queue is anywhere from an hour upwards. I don't mind queuing per se, and I don't mind that the time it takes. I'll take a book with me to read in the queue. It's more that thing of just standing. Oh, it does my knees in, but that's how it is at the moment, so just have to put up with it. Amongst other things today, and it means I'm not going to be able to get to the garden again today. So I haven't been to the garden now for about 9 days. I'm really missing it. I think I've worked out that anything more than 5 days away from the garden and I really start to get itchy and antsy and want to be back there. Obviously in the spring, summer and the autumn I'm there, every other day probably at least, and it's sometimes every day. As we get into this time of year, other things become more important to do. That's for one, but also the weather. You know, if it's lashing with rain, I don't see any point in being there. If it's a bit of drizzle and there's something really urgently needs attending to, of course, I'll go out in drizzle and do that. But, you know, at this time of year, nothing really is that urgent. It's more just that I'd like to be there and I'd like to be playing in the mud. Anyway, it's definitely not going to happen today. Fingers crossed for tomorrow. Right then, enough of that. Where are we for number 18? I can't believe we're at the 18th already. Hoik it slightly, press it open. What have we got? You're seeing it, I'm not. Let's have a little look. Oh, it's a teddy in a stocking. How cute is that? Who was it yesterday? Day before? I've lost track of time. Someone was saying about, was it Sophie? Sure, it was an S. Saying about in their childhood, when they hung their stockings for Christmas, it wasn't any of these, you know, these fancy ones you buy in the shops these days. They're really big, like they're that wide, that deep. It was literally just one of their socks. Same in our household. Just an ordinary sock. Well, not an ordinary sock, a sock that had been knitted by grandma, but a sock that we would, you know, normally wear. You couldn't get much in one. Definitely a satsuma tangerine in the toe and a little bit of holly somewhere. You never knew where the holly was going to be, so you can't just ram your hand in there to pull things out. You have to go really carefully in case you get a surprise, a prickle. Right, number 18 on the literary calendar. Oopla. What's it say? I saw the first two words. Tiny Tim in A Christmas Carol was originally called Little Fred. Oh, but Dickens altered the name just before the book went to press. Isn't that funny? Little Fred. It just doesn't have quite that same ring to it, does it, as Tiny Tim? Well, thanks, Charles. I'm glad you changed it. Happy Christmas, one and all, said Little Fred. No, it doesn't work, does it? Isn't that funny? It's funny to think, isn't it? You know, all the books we read, all the great works of literature, even, you know, the modern books we read, we forget that they've been edited and edited and edited. And, you know, those characters we fall in love with and know so well, for all we know, they did have a completely different name. I'm just trying to think of, you know, imagine in Wuthering Heights, Heathcliff. Heathcliff is perfect for that character, isn't it? If he was just called George, would it have worked? No. Heathcliff is definitely Heathcliff. He's definitely not George. Right, my lovelies, just a quickie with the calendar. Like I said, I've got a quite a frenetic day today. Lots of running around in the neighbourhood. There should be a couple of little pops of time later in the day for me to get on with other things. And when I do, I will include you in whatever I'm up to. Not sure what it will be yet. Yeah, there's so many outstanding jobs on my lists. So I will see you in a minute on this video, but it will certainly be much later in my day by the time I see you again. But I look forward to seeing you by the magic of videos in a couple of seconds. See you then. Can you see me through the gloaming? My goodness. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The lights are on. These lights, desperately trying to bring light into our lives at the moment, aren't we? My goodness. Well, the good thing is that, at least for me here, I want to keep this flat. Bear with me a sec, I'm going to put it on the sewing table. Yeah, the good thing here at least is that in a few days' time we will attain the winter solstice, which of course means that our days will start to get longer again. Hurrah, hurrah! It's funny, isn't it, because every year in the garden I always spend the midsummer solstice in the garden. Love it. It always feels like a massively special day. But thinking about it, celebrating the summer solstice, I'm celebrating the beginning of the end. Or at least the beginning of the end in my book. Sorry, excuse me, this has got to go and sit flat too. Yeah, it's kind of like the beginning of the end for me. Ooh, going into winter. What I should celebrate is the winter solstice because it's the beginning of the beginning. Hey ho. Yes, getting on with some pressing matters, pressing jobs today because I'm finally beginning to make some time for sewing and other things associated with fabric. And you know, this is all long overdue, but I've had so many hiccups in December, so many days where I've been pulled in different directions. It's just not been possible, so I'm making the most of it this afternoon, grabbing a couple of hours to press. It's raining out there. Well, it's doing that kind of drizzly, threatening too. It's chilly, it's dark, so I'm not in the garden. So I'm not going to be in the garden, and I'm not doing other stuff for other folk. I might as well be pressing. What I'm actually quite excited about for the next few days, where are we? I'm actually doing this beforehand. It'll be a clip to add on, I think, to the 18th. So it's still 24 hours ahead. But yes, what I'm quite excited about is that on the 19th of December, we are going to have the Great Conjunction. Which in my head, I keep saying to myself, it's the Great Conjugation. It's not the conjugation. Every time I think it, I end up having these kind of like sort of shivers down my spine, remembering doing French O-level. Conjugating my verbs. Now at my school, there weren't many options in terms of when we were picking our exams to do and the timetable and how it worked out. and French O-level clashed with drama. I fought tooth and nail to be allowed to do drama. I was allowed to do it on one condition, that in my own time, privately, all on my own, I would study French in order to achieve my O-level in French. And I did. So my school only allowed students to study 7 subjects. Can you imagine it these days? Kids only doing 7 subjects. But yeah, I was determined to do French. I was determined to do drama, but I really wanted to do French as well. So I got my way by doing way more homework than all my friends. It was worth it. Anyway, yes, back to the ground conjugation, which isn't conjugation, it's the ground conjunction. So, how exciting is this? On the 19th of, look at that gorgeous bit of paisley. On the 19th of December, 2020, Saturn and Jupiter, as they are moving around and around and around in our little galaxy, it will be the moment when they're so close to each other. They're not physically close, but in our eye line, they'll be so close to each other that they will almost appear as one. This grand conjunction, I have to keep checking myself that I'm not saying conjugation. This grand conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter has not been seen for 800 years. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that we might be able to see something that hasn't been seen since 1220? I can't even think off the top of my head of something that was going on in 1220. It's crazy. But also, can you imagine what it was like for the majority of people in 1220 who would not have had an education? They wouldn't have their book knowledge, and even the educated ones won't have experienced these things before. It would have seemed, well, I don't know, but I would imagine that it would have seemed utterly phenomenal, miraculous, awe-inspiring, terrifying even. So the nickname is also nicknamed the Christmas star. I guess because as they align, it's gonna be even brighter in the night sky. I don't know. So I've been checking out in the last few days. So a friend over in Canada, hey Christina, who has a little sort of, actually not a little, she's built an observatory on her land, so she's going to have a great view. She's been posting and posting and posting about it because actually it's her birthday too. So this amazing event is going to happen on her birthday. Hurrah! Sorry, just hanging it. I'm just pressing, by the way, I'm doing all this, these are all my Liberty fabrics, which I sorted about 4 weeks ago, but I just haven't had a chance to work with. Oh, this one's gorgeous. I was thinking about it as the backs for a number of lavender bags, but it's so beautiful. I don't know, I might even keep it for myself to do something with. Look at that. Oh, should I bring it round closer so you can see it? Isn't that beautiful? Oh my word. Yeah, so that's what I'm pressing today. Yes, so Christina's been posting about it quite a bit, which has been great because she posted a video, an explanatory video. She didn't make it, she shared it, of how to see it, where to see it, what it's all about, etc., etc. So that I now know that on the 19th of December, it's been getting closer and closer over these last few nights. So today when you see this, you'll be able to have a look, but it will be at its closest on the 19th of December, tomorrow. I should be looking out of my window here, Now, I'm quite lucky that I'm high up. The only thing is, I'm going to be looking in a never eat shredded wheat, a southwesterly direction. And when I look southwest, there's a hill. Because I'm only about 2/3 of the way up the hill. There's another third of the hill to go. So I hope it's not too low. But anyway, yes, I should be looking in a southwesterly direction. I should start looking at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We are in, excuse me, sorry, where's my hanky? Oh, excuse me. Oh, no warning. I've just wiped, don't worry. Yeah, I'll start looking at 4 because at 4 we do get into civil twilight, or whatever they call it. By 4:30 we'll be dark. And I'm just thinking that if I can start to vaguely get kind of a hook on it by about 4, then by the time we do get dark and it is properly visible, I'll know where I'm looking. Yay, can't wait. I mean, it's funny, isn't it? It's just the galaxy, the planets all turning around and doing the stuff they normally do without any interference from us. But there is something special about something happening in our skies that only happens, never mind once in a lifetime, once in a millennia. I don't know if you all remember, this is for the Brits, there was, well, I guess it was all around the world, wasn't it? There was it was touted, it was this massive solar eclipse. Or was it a lunar eclipse? Where the sun gets eclipsed by the moon. That must be a lunar, because the lunar is blocking out the sun. Anyway, I think it was like 98, 99. I'm just thinking now. I just moved. I just got Charlotte Bronte in my life. It was 99. The summer of 99, there was touted this huge lunar, solar, don't know which, eclipse. And we were going to be plunged into darkness. They were saying that as whichever body passed in front of the other, I can't remember now, birds would start singing because they think it was dusk. Animals would behave differently. We would be plunged into total darkness. So I arranged it that I was not working that day, or I was working from home, whatever it was. Went to my local park with about 5 million other people. This is when I was living over in southwest London. But yeah, bowled up to the park, took my place, sitting on one of the picnic tables, had my dog by my side, had my partner by my side. It was a bit of an anticlimax. It kind of went, it was kind of odd. It's what I call dark light. It didn't go dark, as in we weren't plunged into nighttime. We were plunged more into, oh, that's a socking grey cloud across the sun on a summer's day. Yeah, I was a bit disappointed. I don't know, maybe if I'd been on a different part of the planet it would have looked different, or a different time of day. I don't know, not a different time of day, it was at that time. So anyway, yes, we've got the Great Conjunction coming up. Not the Great Conjugation, the Great Conjunction. Saturn, Jupiter, 19th of December, 2020, late afternoon, early evening. For us Brits, let's look southwest, and hopefully we may see something that is nicknamed the Christmas star. It's one of those occasions when I think, darn it, I wish I had a little telescope. I remember I bought a telescope for my nephew years ago when he was who's spending a lot of time, I won't go into things, but who's spending a lot of time immobilised. So I bought him a telescope so that, if nothing else, from his bed, looking up through the skylight, he could play with the telescope. I don't think he uses it anymore. I think I need to have a word with him and snaffle it away from him. So, oh, that sneeze is lingering. All right, my lovelies, well, I'm going to carry on with my pressing matters and try not to get too... Oh, I didn't spray it, did I? I like to have a spray to get a really good, smooth finish. Yeah, I will... I'm trying not to get too excited about this event in the sky, because I've got a feeling that light pollution or the hill that's over there in my way, maybe it'll spoil it all. But I'm definitely going to try and have a look at it. A look at this once in a millennium event. I might... Oh, this is a tricky one, isn't it? Because none of us are meeting with people. But I might... The best thing to do actually might be to go up the hill into... There's a park at the top of the hill as well. I might see if any of my local neighbourhood friends fancy it, because I don't really want to go to a park at night on my own. But if some of my friends fancy it, we could do it together. Sorry, sniff bags, and easily maintain social distance. Oh, I think I'll do that. Right, that's it. I'm going to say cheerio to you lot, and get on the old emaily, texty, whatever it is, and see if any of my local chums fancy a walk up the hill to go and see this celestial event. I love that. Isn't that a beautiful word, celestial? So, anyway, I'm going to say cheerio to you all for now. Enjoy your celestial moments, whatever they are. In fact, I think celestial moments is the name of a tea. Whatever it is, enjoy yours. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Hopefully, we might even get into the garden again at some point. But anyway, until then, stay safe, stay cosy, put the lights on, bring some light into your life. Or turn them all off, look out of the window and see what the night sky is doing. But whatever you do, please look after yourselves, stay daft, stay happy. See you tomorrow.